Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tim, also known as Ted Boggins, along with Chris and Val, my compatriots here on the Stick or Bomb podcast, the show where we select some games to play each week and or each month. At this point, I had a kid and things got out of control, but here we are. We're back in the saddle, and we've got some video games to talk about. So let's jump right into it. Um, First and foremost, how are the both of you guys? You doing well?
Oh yeah, great. It's a great time to be a gamer.
Very, very much so. Yeah, there's so much going on right now.
Yeah. So I mean, since the last time we met, I believe quite a few things happened. Namely, a Nintendo Direct in which they unveiled the Switch 2, which looks pretty good. Not super crazy about the lack of like actual new launch titles that are coming out with it, but seems like there's a lot of cool stuff on the horizon for it at the very least. So, well, did both of you guys catch the Switch Direct? What do you guys think of what they were showing?
I thought it was great. Not really super pumped about like Metroid, but like I do think the Donkey Kong stuff looked really cool. Mario Kart obviously going to be a great game. And while it's awesome, they're doing it with the upgrades. It sucks that they're making us pay for some of them.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's $10. I think is reasonable for what they're
It,
going for. They did that same thing when the PlayStation 4 transitioned into the PlayStation
yeah,
5, and I
I,
think
I just
that.
bought.
Sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I was gonna say I just paid $10 for the Days Gone remaster, so
Sure.
it's PS4 to PS5.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I think it's probably like I don't love it, but I don't think it's that big of an ask. $10 for a little bit of an upres doesn't seem
Yeah.
too bad. Especially like I don't know if I know they said for the two Zelda games it's going to be $10 more, but I don't know about like Mario Party. That seemed like they added content to it. I don't know if that'll also be $10 or not, but
Mm.
be interested to see what sort of model they have for that. I know Civ 7 is also getting the upgrade treatment as well if you had it on the Switch One, which I can't imagine playing that game on the Switch One. It seems impossible. Um,
Civ 6 ran
yeah,
like absolute trash. It was like 10 frames a second, especially late game when all those computations are happening in the background. 7 would crash that machine in a heartbeat.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, Val, any games you pick out of this? The Switch announced that really tickled your fancy.
No, I mean, as you guys know, I'm not much of a consoler anymore. We have a Switch. I have a PS4 still. I think the biggest thing for me is how much they are expecting to charge for what is not something that I think should be as expensive as it is. Like I get it, but also for what you're getting out of it, is it worth the dollars that they're charging? I think is going to be the big one. I
You
mean,
mean for the
even if it,
console itself, 450?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. I
mean,
mean,
it's
it's
a
like
4K
700
handheld
Canadian.
console. It's I think
Uh,
it'll be worth
point of
the
fact, 4K docked.
4K
But
docked.
I get
Sure. I mean, but it 1080p HDR on the handheld itself is like
it's
the
impressive.
HDR alone. I think is worth that price point. HDR is awesome. I'm here for it. But
Yeah,
I
I
just
think it just comes down to how you're going to play it. Are you going to be playing it on the go constantly, or are you going to be playing it sitting in front of your TV? And if that's the case, why would you go with a Switch? Go with something that's there. Arguably, you could get more power out of something for the same price. Like we're talking 700 Canadian and over $100 each per game. Like that gets expensive pretty quick in my opinion, for what it is.
Sure. I see where you're going there. I will probably almost exclusively play it handheld, so I'm here for just a crisp HDR screen like that. I'm a little bummed it's not OLED or
Yeah.
even like QLED, like anything that's not just like a standard LED screen, which is what they're packing in. I do love that they have some back buttons on the controller that you can map the things out of the gate, which I think is the first console to do this. In recent generations, I mean, you have to buy the Pro controller for Xbox or PlayStation if you want either of those things.
Or a
So,
third
And
party.
or third
right,
party. Yeah.
right.
I've been an evangelist for the back paddles on controllers
Oh, I love it.
for
Yeah,
a while now. I got a scuff back on PS4 and
sure.
like changed the game. Just having the ability to have those extra buttons on the back that you normally would have to like take your right thumb off the stick to hit, incredible. Game changer.
Yeah, I actually misspoke. I forgot the Steam Deck is technically a console, and that does
Mhm.
have dual back buttons that you can map some
Yep.
stuff to. So, not the first, but certainly like to see it on out of the gate on especially like a handheld console. That seems huge.
Yeah, the next gen consoles, whatever they may be, PS6, Xbox, whatever they call it, or whatever, if they don't have by default on the controllers back paddles, it's a clear money
Yeah,
grab and annoying.
they're doing it wrong. Yeah, if
Yeah,
they do that, I'm with you. I think that should be like a standardized thing on controllers going forward.
yeah.
Um, I
Now you've
know.
got one. What's your opinion on the Steam Deck versus the Switch? If you're paying the same price, would you rather have I mean, it looks like price-wise right now the 512 OLED Steam Deck is about the same price as the Switch too.
I mean, I think of it as like it's your Apple console versus an Android console. Like you do whatever you want with a Steam Deck, but the Switch is gonna be butter smooth when
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I feel like
it
that's a
push
pretty
comes to
good
shove. Yeah,
analogy.
that's the way I'm looking at it. Until there's a Steam Deck 2 and they really improve on the hardware. Like the Steam Deck hardware is starting to show its age with
A little bit.
recent uh, games and things that have come out. I love the Steam Deck though. Like I'm all for it.
Uh,
It might be the best mobile platform for indie games, like period, full stop. Like
Yeah, I definitely
the
took that
Switch
from
has a
the
lot of them.
Switch. Like Switch was that for a little while, and then
Yep.
uh, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
with
unless
it
a game needs some real hardware or some real horsepower to play properly, the Steam Deck is an amazing place to play it.
for sure. And like you could put all sorts of stuff. Like you put mods and stuff on the Steam Deck. Like
Hmm.
it's nice. Like so
Yep.
customizable. My Steam Deck, like the case started to come apart the other day, and I was like trying to figure out why that was, but it just
like the
like
case it came with.
no, the like plastic shell around the mechanical bits of the console, and
Wow.
it just like
Oh,
snap back
the
into place, and
body.
it's been fine since. So
Are you are
fingers
you are you death
crossed,
gripping it, like just
but
holding it real
yeah.
tight?
I don't know.
White
I don't know
knuckling
what
it.
happened to it. Like I have like maybe the cats were tinkering with it. I don't know, but that was a little bit of a scare. But it works
Sure.
and it went back together. So I'm cool with that. Um, Chris, I know a game that you're definitely interested in was part of that Nintendo Direct. What do you think of the the Dusk Bloods
Oh
trailer?
man, that I'm so excited for that, but it makes me very sad. I thought maybe FromSoft was done doing like console specific games, and like Bloodborne has just it is in the pantheon of the greatest of all time for me. So I'm hoping Dustblood is, into that vein. But things I've read about it with the whole, PvP versus PvE. I mean, that's always been kind of what From does, but it seems to be kind of a focus here.
Yeah, they're leaning
It'll be
into
interesting to
it.
see what they do with that. I'm real here for that. Actually, if we're being honest, that's the game that essentially sold me on buying the system. That's my system seller.
I mean,
Um,
that's why FromSoft does what it
yeah,
does with
that's
the
exactly what it
exclusives,
is.
right?
Nintendo was like, "Hey, FromSoft, do you want to make a system seller for us?" And they were like, "Yeah, here you go,
yeah,
Dustbloods." Yeah, I'm definitely pumped for that. I'll spend $500 for that system when I get my pre-order in, no problem, just for that.
yeah. I'm excited for whatever creepy nonsense Miyazaki has prepped in that game. That was definitely a surprise, though. I was not expecting anything like that to get announced for Switch 2. Mario Kart looks awesome. Gonna play the shit
Yeah,
out of that. I am interested to see what the open world stuff looks like because that's like the thing they were leaning into the most. And it
that
seemed,
surprised me.
yeah, it seems really cool. But I'm interested to see like what sort of like side stuff they have that goes along with that because just driving in an open world is not the most
Yeah,
entertaining. Like what sort of like little side missions or trials or Easter eggs and stuff do they have? I'm sure it's going to be loaded with that
GTA.
kind of stuff, and I'm excited to see.
So I like what they said about how if you're doing like a world tour kind of thing, you can take your whole party, everybody who's playing with you online or whatever, and drive to the next race area. And that's actually like a
Yeah,
race unto itself as well. I'm hoping to do something like if you're first place getting there, you're in pole position on the first race, so you get like a little bonus for being knowledgeable
yeah,
about how to get from A to B.
yeah. I'm excited for that too. That's going to be throughout the like if you're doing the
The cup,
for like the cup or the
yeah,
like elimination thing where it's like 6 or 7 races in a row. No matter what,
mhm,
you have to drive from course to course. Like I don't think there's
yeah,
any way. There probably will be an option to toggle that
yeah.
off, but I think by default it's going to be they're expecting you to drive from A to B. Um,
I guess whether or not that's a cool feature is how long does it take to get from A to B? You know what I mean?
right, right. I am especially excited for the wall riding and grinding mechanics because Mario Kart has been the same. Like it's been Mario Kart for a very like since Double
Yep.
Dash. They haven't really added anything especially new. I guess the planes and the motorcycles, but they haven't done anything like actual driving mechanics wise in a very long time. And I'm excited to see
Yes.
what sort of stuff they do there.
An evolution of the Blue Sparks system.
Right, right, exactly.
I hope.
Yeah, it seems neat just like traversal, getting the shortcuts that people wouldn't necessarily see. That sort of stuff seems really cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, any other takeaways from Nintendo Direct? Donkey Kong looks awesome. He's wearing pants now. Donkey Kong's got pants. He's got some suspenders. He's looking like a changed man or ape,
Yep.
well, whatever
He
you
got
want
a
to call him.
job.
Yeah,
He's working in like some facility, some kind of
he's
mining thing. He gets a job. He needs pants. You gotta wear pants.
he's working and just breaking everything in the
Creepy.
world. Um, it seems really cool, like the destructibility and stuff. I'm interested to see where that game goes. Donkey Kong 64, probably a few years ago, I returned to that game, and it's not a great platformer, 3D platformer. Mario 64 is much better as far as platformers of that era are concerned. I need to return to Glover and Gex and see what they're
No,
about. But
nobody needs to return to those.
I did not like Donkey Kong 64 when I came back to it, so I hope it's better than that. It seems like it will be. Seems like they've dialed in a lot of interesting mechanics on this one.
Yeah, we'll have to go to Tim for coverage of the Switch 2 when it comes out. I think you're the one who'll be playing more games on there than I or Val will, probably combined.
Yeah, if I get one, that's the first step, right? Like I am
Yeah.
on Nintendo's list, and I still have not gotten their email, which I am waiting with bated breath for because I am
That's surprising.
I like a Nintendo console and Nintendo's games like Pokemon. That's my jam. I'll catch them mons all day. In fact, I recently got one of the Pokemons that was on my backlist. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond on the current Switch. That's been pretty good. I'm only in the beginning, but it's Pokemon Diamond with a nice, pretty painted over cover. You know.
That was my problem when I played, which I picked up one of the Pokemons at one point for the Switch, and it was exactly the same as I remember it on fucking Game Boy Color. It just looked a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Pokemon hasn't especially changed, and so some of the mechanics they've introduced to newer Pokemon games are just not desirable. Like turning your Pokemon into giant crystal things. Not interested. I want the
Mega
Pokemon.
evolutions.
Yeah, I want the Pokemon to stay. The Mega Evolutions were cool, and then they went into from that to Gigantamaxing, and then from Gigantamaxing into whatever this crystal bullshit is. That infuriated me. Like, pick a thing and stay with it. Like, why are we doing
Pickle-Aid
four? Yeah,
Pokemon.
Get one thing.
It's
Pick thing.
It's infuriating. Like I had all the other stuff, and I'm now. Oh, now we have. Now they can turn giant and look stupid. Here you go. Very,
Giant look.
very annoying. But, um, also in news, we had the Grand Theft Auto trailer dropped. Did you both get to watch that? I know Chris did. Val, did you?
Yes, I did end up watching it, and it looks fantastic.
Holy shit! The fact that that's all in engine is bonkers. Like
And
the
quote unquote PS5, so base
Yeah.
PS5.
Yeah, I mean, go pause the stream if you're watching it on stream or on YouTube or whatever. Pause the podcast. Go watch the GTA trailer if you haven't watched the GTA trailer. And holy shit, like it is mind blowing how good that game looks. As far as visuals are concerned, I hope it's a good video game. Rockstar Games and myself have had a not great past. I've never enjoyed Rockstar Games in the past, so I hope it's good. But the last Rockstar game I liked was San Andreas on the PS2. So
Good one
That's
to
a
like.
good one, though.
Good one to like. I roll credits on every Rockstar game I get my hands on. So if you don't play it, I'll give you the rundown.
actually, you know what? That's a lie. Table tennis on the 360. That shit was
man,
awesome.
what a game! What a game!
Yeah.
Love table tennis.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Yeah, no, that's probably the last one. Midnight Club was Xbox original, right? That was Rockstar, right? I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, no, table tennis. That's the one. Yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto came out with the swing in with this trailer. The visuals look crazy. The main characters look like believable. It seems like a Bonnie and Clyde type dealio, with male and female protagonists that are in a relationship of some kind. I really like the look of it. I hope it's good.
Yeah, same. Definitely bummed that it's pushed back a full year. Because word was it was going to be this year. But hey, you know what? I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, did they ever officially come out and say a date? I don't think they did, right?
They had 2025 listed originally. They just said 2025, so everybody was assuming a holiday release. but they never locked down a date. Now they actually are
Sure.
saying, you know, a specific day, and we know. Now whether or not they hit that target, that's the crucial bit here, right? You know, they could overshoot that target again. Who knows? I hope they don't, because boy, I want to get my hands on that game.
Yeah, yeah. I will play it. I really hope I like it. Red Dead 2 looked so cool. So disappointing. What
What
a
was
disappointing
so
goddamn
cool?
game. Um, really, really frustrated the shit out of me that game. But anyway, moving on to what the podcast is about. We played a handful of games. Um, any other news that we wanted to cover before I
Nah,
actually
we can.
segue? All right,
Nah,
segue. Um, we played some games. What's been going on in the background here for a little while now is Let's Drive, something Drive.
no, keep
Keep
driving.
keep driving. That's right. Keep driving. It is on Steam for. I have the numbers up in front of me here. $17.99. What did we think of Keep Driving, gentlemen?
As the person who bought it and played it for the stream, I love it. I think it's pretty great. Nice chill game to play. Soundtrack whips ass. Which I'm a big fan of soundtracks. You give me a good one, it's gonna increase my joy for a game, you know, tenfold. Um, yeah, it's a unique game. Never played anything quite like it unless we're talking about like Oregon Trail way back in the day, because you're, you know, traveling from point A to point B, you're picking your path. But like the little mini games in between, the strategy of using your skills when and where you can, and how you use them, plus managing your resources, all very fun. I like to see how the systems work together. Just a little, you know, fun little game to play.
Yeah, the soundtrack is what really stuck with me. I don't think it's a game that I would purchase. Um, just it there are other games to play, and I don't have that much time. And this one seems novel, but um,
Yeah,
I if I got it in like a humble bundle or something, that'd be cool. I would play it then. I would definitely play it if it was in my library, but I don't think I would buy it. I think that's my takeaway on this game. I would sooner buy the soundtrack because that one, whatever, what is it? Uh,
something
Oh,
werewolves.
it had an absolutely ridiculous
it
name.
was like fucking
Yeah.
werewolf something, but it looked they slapped, dude. They were fucking awesome. I need to look into that soundtrack and
Fucking werewolf asso.
yeah, there you
Yes.
go. It's so good, fantastic soundtrack. But like the mechanics were neat. Like it, I definitely think there are flavors of Oregon Trail mixed in here, but it's definitely its own thing. Like with the like symbol matching and stuff, and the people that are riding in your car with you. Pretty wild that you could just like get drunk and drive around. Like that's
Yeah.
that's pretty
I was
crazy.
playing the other day. I was playing the other day, and the first time I've run across drugs. There was mushrooms, cocaine, and weed. I found
Oh
just
shit, that's pretty
in a
wild.
case on the side of the road. So it's like, oh boy, I wonder how that affects gameplay. I didn't like the drunk driving. That was brutal on like my motion sickness. The tilting and panning
Oh
of the
yeah,
screen. Didn't like
at
that
some
at
point
all.
in this stream, we did see
It's going
that,
to do
but
that.
yeah, it's with the crooked screen was it was like I was on a boat. I felt like I needed to
It
go
was
get some
brutal.
Dramamine, man.
It's so
That was
tough to
tough.
watch that. I couldn't do it. When I got to the next town, I rested, even though I didn't need to, just to get rid of the drunk effect.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's a lot of hidden stuff in it. The crux of the game, the main objective when you start playing is you're traveling from one side of the country to the other side for a music festival, and things happen along the way. There are, I believe, a total of 8 different endings. So getting to the music festival is one of them. But you know, you could decide you wanted to do some other pursuit that is going to take you. I would hate to spoil any of them, so I won't going any other further. But it's just you organically discover these other endings, these other paths, these other things that happen to you on the road. It's a really neat design. It's an interesting idea. I got to give a lot of credit to the developers of that.
Yeah, I feel you. I just randomly clicked a spot in the stream because it was about to end, and it is on the drunk part. And so
Oh,
if you missed it earlier, you can look at this awfulness now. It looks so rough.
For any of our
just
Canadian viewers, it's cross country Canada with perks.
Yeah,
there you
is
go.
it Canada? It's the map of Canada that you're in?
No, I think in this it's the U.S. we determined,
It's
right?
Oh, okay.
it's an ambiguous landmass.
Yeah.
It is somewhere in North America, set in the early 2000s.
All right. Fair enough.
And the developer of that is YCJY Games. Never heard of them before this. They have some other games I'd seen, but this is certainly a very good game, in my opinion.
Nice. And yeah, the playthrough that we did, I know I watched you play this before this particular playthrough. Um, you had the tiniest little fucking car trunk I've ever seen in my life.
Hard mode, for sure. Like the
they
other
get
vehicles,
you could drive
much
like a
more
truck
room.
and have like a shit ton of room, but he's in
Yeah.
this tiny little compact. Very funny to watch.
It went
There
off the
is
rails immediately.
yeah, there is a video of us playing it on the site along with the other games that we played, which we're gonna get into next. Was my game, which I gotta clean up here because the image is a little skewed, but we'll fix it. You guys can see a little bit behind the curtain what we got going on here. We got the Plucky Squire, which is a Devolver Digital joint, and it is set up like you're the main character of a storybook who is suddenly finds out that he is part of a storybook and is ejected from the book and has to do all sorts of crazy stuff. And the cool thing that this game does, I think, is that it breaks the fourth wall in a way that makes sense and feels interesting. And in doing so, it introduces a lot of different gameplay styles. Like you go from a top-down sort of Legend of Zelda feeling, walking around with a sword style game, to even within just the storybook, it goes into like Zelda 2 where you're kind of platforming and chopping along, and then from there you exit the storybook and all of a sudden it's a 3D platformer and you can hop back in and out of the storybook. So it does a lot of interesting things that I think not many, like the way that it melds all these things together. It would be easy for anybody to do like make a game that does a bunch of stuff and have it be terrible, but the way that they mesh everything together is really what sets it apart for me as a video game. I think it's very cute and interesting. The art is fantastic. Love the art. What did you guys think? Seeing the playthrough here for the
It
Pokemon
looks super
Squad.
fun. It definitely was a mix, like a mismatch of or a mixed match of different games, and it was one of those ones that you could keep engaged. I think we discussed it when we were playing it, that it reminds me of one of those games that you give to people to get into games, because they may not like, to figure out what kind of game they like. It seems perfect because you go through all the different types of games, all the different genres, all the different, side scroller. You've got your hack and slash, and they can kind of learn what they enjoy and what they don't enjoy.
I agree. That's tough to nail too when you're mixing genres like that, where you're taking this very specific direction for first couple hours, and then you just flip the script on somebody, and here's this whole new mechanic and like a whole different game, and then you're like kind of layering them on top of each other. That's a very tough needle to thread, and I think they nailed it on that. It was very cool. I actually started playing it after you streamed it for us, like once I got my eyes on what it was, what to expect. I went and downloaded on PS5, played it on there for a decent chunk. Haven't finished it yet, but I think I'll roll credits on that.
Is it a PlayStation Plus game, or you just bought it
It
on
was,
PS5?
yeah, it was on the PlayStation Plus. Like,
Oh, nice.
I think it's still free. I added it to my library when it was on there, and I don't know if it's
Oh, yeah,
still
I'll have
on there or
to.
not.
Well, it's just switched to May, so maybe
Yeah,
I'll have to grab it on there. I not that I can't just play it on here. Fantastic Steam Deck game. Love it on Steam Deck. Feels real good. Um, the other thing that it does that is very interesting is like because it's a storybook, part of the gameplay mechanics are moving the words of the story around to make things in the environment happen. And I'll zip ahead a little bit here so you can see kind of what that looks like. Um, again, there's a gameplay video for this, but you can hit words with your sword and then pick up those words and move them so you can change a forest to a ruin, which is what's going to happen here, or you can make something big that's blocking your path small. And there's like little things that you can do that are certainly they account for but are not necessarily intended that lead to extra like pickups and rewards, hidden areas, that sort of stuff as the game goes on. um, I really I like what they did with here with this game, and just the feel and the look of it just look really fantastic. So this is a stick for me. I really like the Plucky Squire. I'm here for a Plucky Squire 2 if they choose to go that direction.
yeah, I think it hit pretty well. I think it'll. I would guess they'll do a sequel, depending on how the ending plays out. I have no idea. They could wrap it up like in tight, nice little bow at the end there, and leave no room for a sequel. But we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't gotten to the end yet myself, but excited to play more of it. And so yeah, Plucky Squire was my game. And it is $30 on Steam if you're to buy it on Steam. I got it when it was on sale. It gets down there into like the $20 range if it goes on sale. Probably could find it cheaper for on some of the key sites that are out there and whatnot, or get it for free on PlayStation. But it is fun, entertaining little game that the I know it's Devolver, but I don't know who else makes it. I should pull that up. Let me see. It is developed by All Possible Features, or All Possible Futures. Sorry. Uh, Very cool, neat stuff. Now that brings us to Val's game, which is now playing on the screen here for those who want to take a look at it. We also have the video up as well. Val, what did you bring to the table here for us?
Blueprints. As much as it was my game, I know Chris played the absolute hell out of it.
Still
It was,
playing.
yeah, you know what? And I throw it on once in a while as well. Just I'll play even just a few rooms. It's
I
one of those
installed it
games that
yesterday, but
Yeah,
I
Hey,
did
I mean,
not play it. Um,
it's on Game Pass. Why wouldn't you? I
yeah,
mean,
yep.
for the 5 gig install or whatever it is, even if you only throw it on once in a while. But it's fun. It's puzzle adventure roguelite. You're trying to escape the manor. Well, not escape the manor because you're not trapped, but to get through the manor. Um, Little puzzle rooms. Trying to figure out the best route. You run out of steps, you run out of doors, then you run out of days, and you just keep going until you until you do well, or you get
And
lucky, I guess.
Well, yeah, the RNG is heavy in it, but there's strategies, right? Like, so there's things you can do to like force the hand of the RNG. Great game. Like, I can't even really talk about it without spoiling things. There's so much depth. It goes so far
That's the hard part
beyond.
with
Yeah,
explaining it, right? It's the
When
yeah,
without
when we
spoiling
first spoke
information
about it,
stuff.
I had brought up The Witness, and the more I look at like gameplay videos, the more it does remind me of something like The Witness, but with its own
yes.
sort of thing to it. Um, it looks neat. I do want to play some of it, but it was just not high on my list of games when all these games are out here to play.
And 2025 just killing me this year. I don't have the time to play it all. Like, we're all adults who work jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. It's so hard to find the time, but damn, we're just drowning in good games.
I
Yeah.
think the problem is you get all these little games. You're like, oh, that's fun, but then you're into something like Last Epic, and we've played nothing but that for the past 10 days or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, we've
Yeah.
been playing a lot of Last Epic, and the season 2 has been really good, which we'll touch on after this. But let's talk a little bit more about Blueprints. I want to mention just the I think the art it really stands out to me as well. Like the sort of cell shaded, almost looks like a Telltale game. The way that the art
Yeah.
presentation
Yeah,
is set
comic
up.
booky.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm a big fan of. I wonder if Wolf Among Us 2 will ever come out. That'd be cool.
We're gonna see that. I'm calling my shot right now. We're gonna see that next month during like Summer Game Fest or whatever they're calling it this year. Um, I think we're gonna get a release date for it.
Hey, I'm here for it. What was the last thing Telltale put out?
The Expanse, I believe.
Yeah, a game I've never even
Good
heard of.
show.
I don't think.
Love the show. Haven't played the game.
Oh, that's the show tie-in. I have heard of that one. I had a buddy who got like really into that. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy that they haven't done anything
Um,
since then. That was a long while ago.
well, you got to remember they had like a whole restructure. They
They
shut
did,
down
yeah,
for a
yeah.
little while, and they lost a lot of their talent. But I mean, let's be real here. It was their own fault. They were stretching themselves way too thin on the same game mechanic that was, like, quite frankly, like, getting a little stale. But
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many times you can hit on
press
that
press
same
X
thing
or just
in
circle the
in the
controller this
course
way.
of a year. Like they were putting out like 4 of those games a year, and
Yes, that was
yeah,
oversaturated. That said, The Wolf Among Us was like, I think their magnum opus at this point. It's still their best game in my opinion.
it's
I'm
it's incredible.
really excited for
Yeah,
the second one.
yeah, yeah. I want to go back and play the first one. Like the day they announce like a date for the second one, I will go back and play the first one to get ready for it.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I get prepared,
yeah,
get ready.
that oh man, what a great game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you find tools and secrets and stuff like that in this game. You go room to room. When Val, you had mentioned like you have to watch your steps. The steps are each time you go into a room, you take a step.
Yes.
So you can see
Yes.
up in the corner of his screen there are little footprints, and each time he goes into a new room, the footprints tick down by 1. So you're building out this structure of rooms and trying to get to whatever the is the antechamber where you start, or is that where you're headed?
No, that's where you're headed,
That's
and
where
that's
you're
that's
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Just trying to get to the
The whole thing
antechamber.
with all that. Yeah, there's a whole thing with all that too. There's a whole thing about everything in that game. Every
Yeah.
every room has something. Everything means something. It is
Sure.
a very deep game that I gotta give them just massive respect for, because boy,
Yeah.
that could have been a big stinker, but it's a huge hit.
I had mentioned when he was playing this, like I would want a notebook sit next to me for this game because it's like,
Only game I've ever done it for.
Yep,
Only game.
You need one.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And there's actually a
I
that
my
recommends
witness
it.
notebook looked
Yep.
like I was a madman. Like I looked like a crazy person, and like if you were to pick up that notebook and look through it, it would look like I was a maniac.
This Pepe Sylvia all the way down.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, there were so many notes in that book. Um, yeah, yeah. I do want to touch on this, but I don't know when. We'll see. We'll see. It'll happen eventually. I'll let this continue to play through the stream here. Um, however, we want to touch on Last Epic Season 2 here, Tombs of the Erased, or do we want to just move right into picking some games? Does not matter to me.
Um, okay. Last Epic or Epoch, as I'll say it, because that's just how I get down.
Because you don't like to be
Uh,
correct about things, you know? It's...
I just don't believe Google's auto translate for it is. We've been okay, Eric, listeners, we've been debating this for every time we play it. It's never going to stop being debated. It'll always be hotly contested, but I believe the EPOCH is Epoch. That's just me. Great game otherwise. If you like the ARPG genre, very reminiscent of like Diablo in the height of its power. It's very, very good. Lot of end game depth. A lot of all game depth. Start to finish. There's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of like fun builds you can make. You can get crazy OP, just like any one of those, any good example of that genre.
Yeah. Your five skills can have skill trees of their own. You get passive skill trees. You get Weaver skill trees. There's all sorts of skill trees. If you're into skill trees, Last Epic is the game for you, man. It's
It's
fantastic.
in my opinion, it's also very much a dad core game. Like you can play an hour and feel like you did something. It's not like those games where oh, I don't have enough time to play. Like there's a ladder, but it doesn't really matter. It's kind of progress at your own rate. Have fun as you have fun, and you can play as much or as little as you want and still enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll agree there. I enjoy it every time I play it because the chase is always on. That loot chase is always on, and they have some good loot in that game. Some good art, good loot, interesting uh, background to the game. Like you're traveling from era of time to era of time to stop this evil shit from happening. But it opens itself to not having everything just look like oh, the demons were here. It's really dark and evil looking. Like man, this sucks. Like there is a lot of color in some of the timelines, in others not so much. But the amount of variation and interesting game mechanics, I've said once and I'll say again, have made that game the best one of those since Diablo 2 for me. Diablo 3 was good. Diablo 4, I'm not sure what they were thinking. Um,
They were thinking about
yeah,
this.
I
Get
guess
that
they were thinking
money.
about
Get that
money,
money.
but if you want to play a game that is like Diablo and don't feel like playing the sometimes impenetrable looking uh, Path of Exile, or wait, no, Pillars of Eternity. What
Nope,
one am
Path
I
of
thinking of?
Exile.
Path of
God, it's
Exile.
close one.
Path
Which
of
it
Exile, I think, like, this is the nice in between of what Diablo and Path of Exile are. If you're
it's
into that.
reminiscent to me as somebody that played Path of Exile from Alpha from like season 1, 2, 3 Path of Exile, where there wasn't a whole lot of content, but there was enough content to have fun with. To try to jump into Path of Exile now, there's so many seasons and leagues that they've added mechanics for that it seems like every act you go into, they're trying to teach you another one, and then by the time you get to maps, it's just a jumble of bullshit is really what it comes down to. And it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna completely skip those ones because they aren't fun. In this, we've got what, Nemesis, the mages, and then like the chests, which are just loot, and the
Champions.
tombs.
Yeah.
Champions are just your rare monsters, but yeah, the
Yeah.
tombs. It's really just like even the mages are just another thing to kill. It's really just the tombs and the like the nemesis. That's
Yeah.
like a mechanic you need to know about.
And
Yeah.
in this one, they like this season, I should say, they expand on the tombs in a way that I really like with the Weaver's Web and all the upgrades that you can make to your essentially Diablo 3 riffs that they've got, and it just feels really good. Like it's paced fantastically. The loot drops feel like I always feel like I'm getting something, whether it's from my main character or one of the 40 alts that I have planned to play for that game. Like, there's always something to do, and I really appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Adding the ability to respec your subclass too is such a huge one. Like Tim, you and I played season 1.
Hmm.
How many duplicate characters did we make because we wanted to play a different build within that
I
class?
still might do it, so I don't have to spend the gold to respec. But
Which is absolutely fair,
yeah,
but you don't have to.
The gold.
yeah.
I have like 3 million gold. And
I
nothing
mean,
like even buying stashes doesn't cost me that much money yet.
And we
yeah.
aren't even
The
the
respec is like the
the
thing that
currency
costs the
party.
gold. But
Mhm.
People
I
are at integer errors with gold from one item sale in the in the non COF.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, fantastic one of those.
Yeah.
I definitely would say that that is a stick for me. I will keep coming back to that game season to season.
Sure.
This looks the blueprints looks like a stick as well. I don't see this not being a good game were I to play it. Um, and I know both of you already really enjoy it, so.
Oh, yeah.
Um, all right, so let's put up some picks for our next meeting. Who wants to go first?
Well, I did just buy a new game that I'm going to recommend. I've only played a little bit of it, but it does seem like a very fun one of one of these games. It's called Deck of Haunts. It's a brand new one, just launched the other day. It is a kind of like a deck, like a card game, but you're building a room to room, building a haunted mansion that you're like luring people through to haunt.
Oh, I
Basically
thought
stealing their
I thought
essences.
it was gonna be like Deception for a second. I was like, "What? You're luring people into this mansion?"
I mean, kind of,
Mm,
not as such, but similar kind of thing where you're luring them in and you're utilizing like synergies with the cards you're playing, the way you're building the rooms out to steal more and more essence from these people. Um,
okay.
I have not spent a lot of time with it. I bought it on the strength of a trailer, and I was like, all right, we'll go from here. But the little bit I have played is nice. I'm liking it. So I'll have a full talk up next time we talk.
And
The
say
tagline
what's
from
the
the
name
trailer
again?
makes me want to grab it.
What's the
Deck of Haunts,
Deck of Haunts? Do you know how much it is? Is it on Steam?
$20,
20 bucks.
$19.99
Okay,
US.
19.99 US. Deck of Haunts. All right. You want me to go next, Val, or you got one for us?
I do have one. Just on Deck of Haunts. The tagline on the trailer is "Become a haunted mansion." What's not to like about that?
Again, like
Hey,
I said, I'm on the strength of the trailer. I was like, all right, let's go.
become a haunted mansion. I'm excited to take a look at it.
I think I'm gonna give Towerborn a go. Looter brawler, side scroller, RPG progression, explore, fright, big get stronger. There's a game preview on Xbox Game Pass. So I think I'll give that a go to see
Oh,
how it
okay.
is.
I saw that. I saw that one. I did not
Yep.
look at anything for it. But
Yeah, it looks pretty fun. It looks like there's some replayability in it, so we'll give it a go. It's either that or Claire Obscure, which I know Chris is on playthrough at least two.
I'm on two. On two.
Which is
But
absolutely on my list, but I do want to give this Towerborn a go, so I probably will, and I'll probably end up playing
So you're
Claire Obscure at some point anyway.
you're on playthrough 2. Is it like
there's New Game Plus.
okay, I was gonna say, is it like Nier Automata, or where it has like 40 different follow
No,
ups
there are
to the
there are at least two endings.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a third one or not. I don't like to read guides on RPGs, so like
no.
I know there's a second choice because of where how the game ended. I don't know if there's some other option. Super eager to see the other ending. Damn, the game is incredible. Like, what a game. We could make an entire episode just about Claire Obscure. From the soundtrack to the game itself, it just whips ass. The game is amazing.
It is also on
Go
Game
play it.
Pass. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
it.
it's on Game Pass. Go play it if you have it.
I have it installed. It's one of those. Last Epic has been eating my gameplay life, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
has not been played yet. I even like was it Oblivion Remastered? I played it enough to be like, yep, this is still Oblivion. And then
Still Oblivion.
closed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, it's just Oblivion with a new coat of paint. Here you go.
I mean,
Yep.
it very much is that. There's some
In fact,
quality
in
life
fact,
improvements and all that.
all the maps are built in the original Oblivion. It is just Oblivion in Unreal 5. Everything else is the same. I was looking at
Even the
like
bugs.
Yeah,
I was
gonna
looking
say,
at mod
including all of the
threads,
bugs.
and all the mods are like, oh yeah, it's everything is just this. Everything's the same. You just upgrade the mod into this, and you're good to go. Wild, but nice to see. I mean, that game, like, they put Skyrim out 900 times, and that game they put out just the once, pretty much.
And
so.
you know what? I'll put this hot take out there, and I've said I'll say it as loud and proud as I want. Oblivion is a better game. I thought Oblivion was better than Skyrim every day of the week. I just
it's
enjoyed
been
the
a long ass
better.
time since I touched Oblivion, so I'd have to revisit it to say I played Skyrim way more.
Oh, I played the shit out of Skyrim. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was better.
I'm with you. Hey, I mean,
Everybody's got opinions.
I like when games are good, and that Oblivion was always a good game. So was Skyrim. I think I like the setting of Cyrodiil better than Skyrim, like
Yes.
scenery wise, I would say. So yeah, I mean, I probably will end up, like, when I eventually play that game, liking Oblivion more, but it's been so long I can't say. All right, I still need to pick a game, and I know which game I've picked. It's already
the one that we've discussed.
it is
'cause
the
I've got it
one.
installed.
It's the one that I mentioned to you long ago, Val. And I'm very excited because it's a multiplayer game. I'm excited to play with my chums here. I played it a little bit myself. It's a game called Lonely Mountain Snow Riders. And it is just skiing down a mountain with your buddies. That's the game. I don't need to explain it any further than that. It is on Game Pass, so we can all gather it up and play it and enjoy Lonely Mountain Snow Riders. It's also a very tight, compact install. I think it's like a couple gigs, maybe. So, yes, that is my pick. And we shall...
1.35.
Yeah, there you go. Not even a couple. Just under.
I like it.
But it's like skiing time trials sort of thing in single player, but you can have buddies with you, and it just seems really like it's not overly crazy looking graphically, but it seems to be fantastic mechanically.
It seems like one of those games that's as competitive as you want it to be.
Exactly right.
Like
You
you could
you
just
make
chill
your
and
own
speed on the
fun with it.
mountain,
It's that kind of
or
game.
pull
Yeah.
out Mario Kart it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there are like shortcuts to take on the mountain and stuff. I didn't play too much of it because I was like, I'm gonna make this my next one, and we're gonna play this together and see what we think. But they have other games too that are set in the Lonely Mountain setting, but
Yeah.
the Lonely Mountain Snow Riders is the one that I'm selecting for our next set of games, which we will post onto the site hopefully sooner than later. That's my fault. I've been lax with it. You know, having a kid
Had a
and
kid.
stuff. Also, having throat
Valid
ulcers,
excuse.
that sucked too. That was not fun. But what are you gonna? Not that I shouldn't have said that sucked too, because having a kid was kind of pretty cool. But
Now, oh no, man, it's been recorded
yeah,
for posterity. We're gonna show. Well, I'm gonna show this to your daughter in
Yeah.
about, 10 years. I don't want
Good.
to ruin her childhood.
Good. No, I mean she's got to know. She's got to know at some
I know how you
point.
feel.
But anyway, I think that's it for the Sticker Bombcast. Unless we have any urgent news bulletins that flashed through within the last
Nothing came on the
couple
wire.
hours. Nothing. I don't see any lights blinking here. I think we are good.
Nope.
That is another episode in the bucket of the Stick or Bomb podcast. Thank you all for joining. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Or don't. Whatever. We'd appreciate it.
Your
but
call.
You don't have to. But
No pressure.
keep it real. That's all I ask. Keep it real, folks. We'll see you next time.